Good afternoon, y'all. This is Reyes Ramirez, the usual, with the Resource Roundup with me, Reyes. I hope you've been well since last time I went live. I hope all the resources and monies went to you. But if this is your first time here, I'm Reyes Ramirez with Fresh Arts. I am the program coordinator, and the Resource Roundup is a rundown of deadlines, opportunities, all the good stuff that is useful, I believe, and we believe at Fresh Arts, that are useful to the artist's career and bolstering your practice, getting access to funds, skill building initiatives, all that good stuff. Fresh Arts is a nonprofit arts organization primarily based out of Houston, Texas, though through digital channels such as this, our reach is even further. And so if you're in Houston, this is prime for you. If you're not in Houston, there's still some things that apply to you on our website and with the stuff that we're presenting. And so if you've been here before, welcome back. Today we have a few resources, so I'm just gonna get right to it. But the first thing I want to talk about is tax season. We're in the middle of tax season. It's coming up, April. We all know it. We all got to do it. And so as such, I hope we can get all the, or rather we're going to give you all the help you can get, right? As far as you as an artist. And though you may not consider yourself a small business as an artist, well, you qualify as one, and the government will consider you as a small business because what you're doing, hopefully in a way, is for a profit, right? And that's what the IRS, from what I understand, what I've read and how I filed my taxes, the IRS sees anything that is with the intent, any practice with the intent to make money is a small business. And so we have a series of 2 resources I want to share with you in regards to tax season for you as a creative, as an artist, all that good stuff. And so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen, and so I can show you and give you the quick rundown of the tax resources we have for you. So let me bring this up. All right, so the first thing I want to share with you is Fresh Arts and TALA, Texas Accountants and Lawyers for the Arts, team up every year, essentially for the last couple years. I forget the exact number, but it's been a while, on the art of taxes, which is a webinar. Usually in the past it's been a presentation, but this year it was a webinar due to the pandemic. And what this is, it's a webinar about how to file your taxes as an artist. And so the video is it's available free on our resource library, which to get there, you go to Succeed as an Artist, Artist Resource Library, and you can click on the Finance. It's Finances, Money, and Budget Taxes square, and it'll be one of the first things that comes up. And so what it is, you can watch this free webinar, and it covers what it means to be self-employed or to be an independent contractor, business structure overview, keeping records of income and expenses, 1099s, W-9s, all that stuff that I still don't get, but TALA has made it easier to conceive of. We're working on part 2 to post that soon, but for now, I think part 1 is more than enough before moving on to part 2. And so definitely check this out. Free, as always, covers a lot of useful information. And it's the presentations by 2 really amazing ladies who know definitely what they're talking about. Kathy Plow and Lisa Stepanovich, I believe, accountants that know their stuff. The second thing I want to bring up is our Arts and Taxes, a Fresh Arts cheat sheet. This is relatively new. We posted this at the beginning of the month. And so what this is I wrote a small article with the help of the other Fresh Arts staff on how to, I guess, things to look out for when you file your taxes as an artist. I'm a writer. I file my taxes as a writer because a small business is something I intend to make profit with, right? That's always been the dream, is to make money off of my writing. But as such, I file my taxes. I keep pretty good records of what I spend on as a writer, as a small business. And so here is a quick cheat sheet on what things you should look into for yourself. Again, everything is different with each person. And so it's hard to give, blanket advice in regards to like what you should do. Because one, I'm a writer, and you may be a painter, you may be a sculptor, you may be a a filmmaker. And so all those things have different write-offs and different ways you can approach your taxes. And so for me, what I hope this does is that it gives you ideas of what to consider when you're filing your taxes as an artist, what to look out for, what things maybe to bring up. If you're working with someone with your taxes, bring up some of these things that they could help you in deciding whether or not that's deductible from your business. And so some things are, for example, like printing costs or supplies, books, anything that you buy really to help you research your craft or to make you better for your business, make your craft better for your business, that's deductible. All that good stuff. So check this out. There's also a section for tax filing assistance, some that are free services that will help you if you make under a certain income threshold. And then there's some stuff that is free but paid. And so I pay a tax accountant to do my stuff just because I don't get it. I'm bad with numbers. But again, hopefully what this guide does is it gives you a start of things to maybe start listing to help you on your journey to file your taxes. And so I just wanted to bring those up real quick. I know tax season can be daunting. It can be very, very scary, but hopefully you can look at these things and feel a little bit better, feel a little bit more secure with what you're doing. And so that's for the taxes aspect, and that's all for that for now. Right now I'm going to get into deadlines and resources. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen again to kind of transition to that. So the first thing I'm going to bring up is Dance Source Houston's Spark Dance Grant. I think this is awesome in terms of opportunities for dancers. It's not really something you see a lot in regards to specifically providing dancers with the resources, but Dance Source Houston has always been on top of it. And this time they're going above and beyond and providing a Spark Dance Grant, which is a grant that provides a maximum award request of $3,000. And they're going to give out $15,000 in total. So all you have to do is be an individual artist based in Houston. And the point is to create a dance program or a performance. And you can see all the rest here. So all this good stuff. So if you're dance, this is just for you. Definitely check this out. This is due Friday, March 19th. So coming up. Also coming right up is Galveston Artist Residency. This is a residency for 10 months from October 2021 to August 2022. What you get is you get a monthly stipend of $1,000 per month, a $500 travel stipend, and a studio and an apartment. Which, if I was a visual artist, if this applied to me, I can't apply to this because it's for crafting and visual artists. I would apply to it definitely. So if you qualify, please apply in my spirit. Just because I think this is a really awesome opportunity. It's free to apply. This is due Saturday, March 20th. You still got a bit of time. Up next, we have the Clay Houston Award for BIPOC Ceramic Artists, BIPOC meaning Black, Indigenous, People of Color. This opportunity is for crafting artists who sculpt, or rather ceramic artists who make works obviously in ceramic. And so this is they have two, one for emerging ceramic artists, people who are self-identifying as a student and or early career, and then you get the mid-career and beyond. So I'm glad that they're kind of covering those bases, right? Because it is kind of like if you're just starting out, you are kind of a disadvantage to those who have many years of experience. That doesn't mean you shouldn't receive funds to work on your craft. And so I think this is a really cool consideration by Clay Houston. This is due Monday, March 22nd. And it comes up with, if you get it, you get $1,200. Pretty nice chunk of change. The application is pretty straightforward. And again, the most difficult part of this one, in my opinion, is the artist statement, which is always go to our Artist Research Library. We have an artist statement toolkit to help you if you haven't written one before, especially for you emerging artists. Up next, we have the KGMCA PRH Fellowship. The KGMCA standing for Catherine G. McGovern College of Art, I believe, if I remember correctly. And so the Center for Art and Social Engagement, CASE, and Project Row Houses have a fellowship program, and it's a pretty good deal. You get a $15,000 annual stipend, a $5,000 budget to do a project and research, and you get local housing with $3,500 in travel support for non-Houston Fellows. But I believe they're only giving it to Houston Fellows, just one this year, this time around. So this is a pretty good chunk of change, $15,000 to do a project over the course, I believe, of a year. And so I will say, though, that if you do see this, start on these questions now. It's a pretty, I wouldn't say lengthy application, but they are kind of essay format. So definitely start on this as soon as you can. This is due Monday, March 29th, and it is free to apply. Up next, we have just a really quick shout out for a job opportunity. Brookwood Community is hiring a production and design artist. And so they usually serve adults with disabilities. And so I think this is a really cool opportunity for you artists that are looking to get into production and design with a really, really awesome community. So definitely check this one out. This one's rolling, so I put ASAP. So just apply whenever you see this. Just do it if you're looking for a job. And if you have any questions, please contact the contact here. And that's also another feature of the opportunity board, is that if I don't know the answers, I usually put the contact person who can provide you with the answers. Up next, we have the Artist Relief Cycle 10. So this has kind of been a relief grant that's been offered pretty much, I wouldn't say since the beginning of the pandemic, but pretty deep in there. This is their 10th cycle, so they've been at it for a minute. And what this does is provides some relief funds to artists who are experiencing dire financial emergencies due to the COVID-19 pandemic. They do not limit you based on, in their FAQ, they do not limit you based on if you have received relief funds in the past. So that is not a barrier. If you have received relief funds in the past, those are not barriers to receiving to this one. So this distributes $5,000 to artists. So if you need it, it's there. Definitely apply. This is due at the end of the month, Wednesday, March 31st. Up next, we have Up Art Studio, the Mini Murals program. So if you've ever been driving around Houston, you see the electrical grid boxes with the paintings on them. You know, they always put some kind of a smile on my face, and I like them a lot. You can apply to be part of that. And so what Up Art Studio is, they're kind of getting artists to register with the organization so they can start accepting proposals, all that good stuff. So if you're interested in doing one of those electrical boxes, this is it. This is your chance. You get paid $1,000, which includes a $750 artist fee and $250 stipend for materials. So pretty good. I think it's pretty good. And so this is free to apply. This is due, same thing, end of the month. Up next, we have a call for guests for a podcast, Take Notice, Amplifying Black Stories. And so you can read all the information there, but they are seeking particularly artists, Black artists, to interview for this podcast. And so definitely check this out. It's for all disciplines, as far as I understand. No fee. They want people to submit themselves to be part of the program by the end of the month. So if you've ever wanted to be a star guest on a podcast, or if you want to kind of grow your brand or any of that good stuff, I definitely take up this offer. And up next, we have the Space City Underground Literary Magazine Call. This is a local literary magazine that focuses on amplifying works by emerging and aspiring writers, as well as artists. They take visual art submissions as well. But I think this is a really cool opportunity for emerging writers or aspiring writers, because usually you get bogged down by everyone who's all accomplished and stuff like that. But I think that's just as important as people entering the literary world. So definitely check this out. This is due at the end of the month. And right back to TALA, full circle in some ways. Texas Accountants and Lawyers for the Arts are providing resources to people who have been hit hard by the COVID-19 pandemic. And so what they are doing is they are waiving the membership fee for artists and arts organizations suffering financial hardship due to the coronavirus. I forget what the fees are, but if you need an attorney to kind of help you with things, then I would definitely call them and see what they have to offer you in particular. And so this is, I believe, I put the March 31st just to kind of so I can renew it and look up what's going to happen. But this is rolling, so as soon as you see this, apply if you need it. Up next, we have Museum of Fine Arts Houston's core program. This is a residency where you pretty much live in Houston, and so if you get it, residents receive a $20,000 stipend, 24 access to a private studio or office, and borrowing privileges at the MFH Hirsch Library and Rice University Fondren Library. And so it's essentially a stipend to go live in Houston. And you can either apply as a visual artist to work on your art, you get a studio, or to be an art critic, right, or art historian. And so the one thing that I will say about this is that you need, I believe, 3 letters of recommendation, which in my opinion is a bit much, but hey, if you want $20,000, I'd call up some old friends and colleagues for that. So as soon as you see this, apply. This is due April 1st. There is a $12 fee. But usually when there's a $12 fee and the outcome is $20,000, I think it's kind of a fair trade-off. But that's always up to you. And also in my cheat sheet, this $12 would be tax deductible, just FYI. Well, it wasn't my case. And then up next, we have Poets and Writers, the United States of Writing Project Grants. This is a pretty neat grant for people who identify as Black, Indigenous, or people of color that reside in Houston. There's other cities, so if you have friends in Detroit and New Orleans who would be interested in this, let them know. But what this is that you get a small project grant to do a reading series, a workshop, or a community conversation like a panel, or you can do any combination of the 3. And the cool thing is that there's a scale, so you get $250 for one session. So if you just want to do one reading, one workshop, or one panel, you get that much. But if you do any combination of the 3, so if you do 3 readings in a row, or 3 workshops and 3 panels or conversations, you get $750. So I think that's cool that you can kind of change them and exchange them in and out. So definitely check this out. If you're in Houston, you want to organize something literary, apply to this. This is due April 2nd. And it's free to apply. Up next, we have the 2021 Pabst Blue Ribbon Open Door Grant. Pabst Blue Ribbon, that's right. They are trying to give out $5,000 for each artist, and who they're giving it to and who's eligible is pretty wide ranged, whether it be a sculptor, painter, drawer, muralist, musician, writer, all that good stuff. Definitely check it out. And we are in one of the states that qualify. Not all the states that qualify, but we are one of them. So again, they're giving out 5 prizes of $5,000 each. It's free to apply, and this is due Friday, April 2nd. And as we're nearing the end of the opportunities, one of the last ones is Contemporary Art Center New Orleans, open call to Gulf South artists for works reflecting upon art and health. So the Contemporary Art Center New Orleans, pretty great institution. If you're wondering about pay, they are wage certified, working artists in the greater economy certified. So if you don't know what that is, definitely check that out. But what that lets you know is that they kind of pay pretty well in regards to if you get into the show for your contribution But though you might want to look into that further through this contact number. But point being is that they're having an open call for Gulf South artists. As Houstonians, we do technically count as part of the Gulf South. If you don't know, it is a region that's particularly obviously to the Gulf, from pretty much from Texas, that Gulf region, all the way to Florida along that coast. So we qualify, and they're looking for arts reflecting upon art and health. That is due Friday, April 2nd. You need to be a member of the museum or of the space. It's $25 if you're not. So check it out. Speaking of art exhibitions, the Institute of Hispanic Culture has a call for artists as well. This is due Sunday, April 4th, 2021. And what they're doing is they're accepting exhibition calls. So if you are an artist that works with or is of Hispanic Latin American culture, or identify with that, or you're working with something that links to that, they're accepting it to be featured in their gallery space. And it is free to apply, I believe. You might want to double check that, but pretty cool space, pretty cool opportunity. Check it out. And the final opportunity I want to bring up is the city of Sugar Land. They are doing a creative placemaking program call for artists, and they're looking for either artists or artist teams to propose projects, public art projects, essentially, that include sun shelters, parklets, projections, all that good stuff, to kind of do as an artist team or artist. And the budget ranges from $15,000 to $150,000, depending on the size and complexity of the work. So artists, if you want some of that Sugar Land money, here's your chance. It's free to apply. They're accepting, again, calls for artists. And so, again, look at this list of stuff that they are willing to fund and see if that's for you. This is due Thursday, April 8th. So you've got some time to think of something really creative and cool. And so that does it for the opportunities. That does it for the opportunities that I want to present as far as deadlines. But one thing we do really want to bring up is, due to the tragedies that have happened lately in regards to violence against Asian Americans in this country, due to many reasons, both which are historical, based in America, but also things that are recent, such as the pandemic. These are very serious issues, and we care about those issues, and we care about our community, those that make up the community, all of them, obviously, especially the Asian American community, with what's happening lately. And so I want to share with you a really cool guide that our own Angela Carranza came up with on our artist resource or library. And so let me share that and show that to you real quick. But it's an issue we've always cared about, such as starting conversations with our Fresh Arts discussion series with equity in the arts. But here we have anti-racism guides and discussion guides, especially regarding Asian American communities, but we also have others included as well. These are issues that affect many art people of color in America. And so hopefully this is, if you haven't been started in these conversations, hopefully these are good places for you to start. But again, addressing these issues, even just acknowledging these issues is the beginning. And it's a long road for us to get better in how we deal with these issues in America. But the first step you have to take is acknowledging them. And so these are hopefully good starts for you if you haven't been entrenched, or if you haven't been informed on what issues and how they affect our communities of color. Definitely start here. And so we have that here in our artist opportunity artist resource library. So, and we have some pretty good organizations to follow and pretty good guides to check out. So there you go. To be part of the solution is to acknowledge these issues. And the more you put them off, the more it's contributing to these things that for them to continue happening. So to be part of the solution, you have to read up on the issues and be well informed. And so while you can, check these out. And there you have it. Try to keep it short and sweet, 25 minutes. I know there's a lot of opportunities, but that's a good thing. And so I hope you apply to all the ones you qualify for. I hope you get all the monies. I hope you get all the things you've ever dreamed of. And so this has been Reyes Ramirez. I want to give a quick shout out to Natalie, the person producing the segment, the first by herself. And I think you tell me, I think she's been doing a really great job. And so you've also been doing a great job, however you've been dealing with all the events and issues that have been happening lately. And so again, you're always welcome to email me if you have any successes, if you have any questions, if you have anything you just want us to shout out, you're always welcome to contact me and let me know. So until then, have a good time, be safe, be well, and I'll see you next time.